We was a village. We were a family. That was the highlight of my life, living in East Pasco until the 70s when it was urban renewal came in and removed, replaced, and everything to me was East Pasco. At one time, there was 4 grocery stores in East Pasco, okay? There was dry cleaners, and there was Kitty's grocery store, the East Side Market. There was a Tin Top, and there was JD's. There was 2 nightclubs. There was Norris's, and there was Kingfish Supper Club. I think there was probably about 8 cafes. And the Squeeze In Diner, Bobby's and Ray's, Haney's Cafe, Big Mike's. There was a cafe at the Tavern. There was Belgium's Pool Hall. There was Avery's Cafe. There was a little record shop. And so it was like everything basically that we needed was in East Pasco, other than we went uptown to buy clothes and stuff like that. And so, for East Pasco, it was just like a family. It's like my mom would say, son, you be at home before the sun go down. And I mean, be in this yard. And she could yell, and I could hear her for like 3 or 4 blocks away. And then I would head home. All my friends and stuff that I basically went to school with, all of us black kids, because they was doing busing, once we got off the bus, we all walked home together, we played together, we threw rocks, we rolled tires. And so it was a lot of fun growing up there. I hated to see it when urban renewal came, because what it did, it removed the black people from the little shacks, as they call them, the little homes and stuff that they had, to the projects, and then we lost everything that we had because all of that was gone. And it was just kind of a bad situation. It was supposed to be in the name of interest, the self-help co-op. Art Fletcher, I think, was the guy that came there that just kind of like pushed that over on us. We had no representation. When they got ready to open up that corridor to Big Pasco, they wanted to grab Oregon Street, and so that's a thoroughway from the freeway all the way to the river. Mm-hmm. Well, black people owned all that property and stuff from the railroad over. When I was growing up, we always heard that railroad property is worth no money. Okay, so when this redevelopment come in, it wasn't redevelopment, it was reclaim. They came in and the city, you had to sell it. They gave you nothing for it. There was a lady I asked the other day, her mom owned a block of land. I said, how much did your mom get for that block of land? She said $18,000. See, there was no representation, so whatever the city said, this is what you get, this is what you take. There was no negotiation.
Right.
And so that broke down our whole community, because from Main Front Street all the way over to Elm Street was all black people lived all through there. So when they took half of the way up to Weehee Street, it made it an industrial area. You couldn't go down there and buy any of that property 6 months after they bought it for the same price that they bought it for. That the price had escalated so much. And, it was just a travesty, because, say, it was basically probably a couple thousand people that lived there, and they built a housing project. And I can remember there was only 2 families that lived there that wasn't black. There was one Hispanic family and one Caucasian family. And I don't know what the capacity was, but the whole Arbor Elm project was filled with black people. So what happened is that the few dollars that they gave you, you ended up moving somewhere else, if you didn't move in the project, out of state, out of town. And so slowly our little community just broke down to where it was nothing.